Hello everyone and welcome to ProGuides Weekly News Recap, the series where we keep you up to date on everything in league current events. In this last week there's been tons of stuff going on, and of course we're going to talk about it all. We've confirmed the next Ultimate Skin, Worlds tickets are available, Wild Rift beta is opening up, and for all you K-pop fans, we have some really exciting news. But first, let's start off by talking about a pretty huge bug that has come to light recently. No, not Kha'Zix. We're talking about a game-breaking bug that can completely change how a game is played out. When Riot added in the various jungle plants to the game, they opened up tons of gameplay options. Too low to stay on the map, but not enough gold to buy an item? Honey fruit to help you sustain up so you don't have to go back to base. Scryer's blooms are invaluable in providing vision and denying the enemy vision. Blast cones open up both gank and escape routes, or just allow for repositioning in a team fight for those immobile champs that would otherwise be forced to flash over a wall. So what happens when all of those options get taken away? That's exactly what was happening when players with an Umbral Glaive attacked a jungle plant, causing it to not respawn for the rest of the game. While some bugs are easily discernible, this one went under the radar for a bit because it was so hard to realize that it was happening. If you walk into your jungle and don't see a plant, it's easy to assume an enemy player may have cleared it at some point. Thankfully, the bug was flagged, the cause pinpointed, and a fix was shipped to both live servers and the world's build. Bug fixes are great, but you know what's even better? We've been given the titles and full EP roster for KDA's World Performance, and while all of the artists listed are very talented, the feature generating the most hype is definitely Twice. A Riot rep has confirmed that all 9 members of the popular K-pop group will be performing. In addition to the other names listed, 2 really stand out, since they were a part of the original KDA group, but were absent from the Baddest. While B. Miller and Wolf Tilla had fantastic performances in the Baddest and will be performing that song at Worlds, Madison Beer and Jyra Burns will also be reprising their roles in the band for some other songs in the EP lineup. And while we're talking about KDA, we've finally been given the full splash art for the new KDA All Out skins. While the original KDA skins made one of the most successful skin lines in League history, in my opinion, the new ones blow even those out of the water. From the poses to the blindingly bright colors, these skins scream pop sensation. If you haven't already seen them, you have to check them out. Of course, along with the original KDA members of Ari, Akali, Evelynn, and Kai'Sa, Seraphine, the newest member, has also been given a skin, but hers is a big step up from the rest of the band. That's right, Seraphine has received this year's Ultimate Skin, and it brings a new Ultimate Skin feature completely unlike the previous ones we have seen before. While Ezreal evolves over the course of the game and Lux has 10 different forms, Seraphine brings a different experience. After purchasing the KDA All Out Seraphine skin, you'll start out with her indie form, the Seraphine that we all saw via her Twitter. At the start of her journey to become a pop star legend, an artist creating music in her bedroom. After completing 3 missions in her quest line, you'll unlock the Seraphine that was discovered by Evelynn, giving you the Rising Star skin, the point in Seraphine's career where she had already made it in the world of pop and has an established fan base. And finally, once you complete the last 2 missions in her quest line, you unlock the KDA All Out Superstar skin, the point where Seraphine has become a KDA collaborator with the pop sensation, having fans across the world. Once you unlock all 3 skins, you can select which one you want to use in Champ Select. Each skin has its own theme and musical effects added to her spells. There's a lot more to it than just pretty colors, so be sure to try them all out. And also, let your eyes and your ears decide which one you like the most. Along with the revelation of the new Ultimate Skin, we've also received some insight into the future of Ultimate Skins as a whole. The news comes from the lead skins producer, Riot Katana, and basically she says that we'll never see an Ultimate Skin on the same level as Lux again. This isn't because it's too much effort or time to come up with a skin, but rather the reason is a bit more technical. In the case of skins like Elementalist Lux or even Gun Goddess Misfortune, having multiple forms for one skin means that skin takes up a lot of memory in each instance of a League game. If Riot kept producing skins on that level, and there were multiples of those skins in a single game, it could degrade or even crash the game experience for some plays, and that's obviously a trade-off that Riot is not going to even consider. Removing the feature of swapping forms in-game allows the team to put more effort and features into each individual skins themselves, all while maintaining healthy performances in-game. Personally, when it comes to already existing Ultimate skins for Miss Fortune, I lean very strongly towards one specific form most of the time, so I definitely don't see an issue with going into a game, knowing which form I'm going to use and then sticking with it. Especially if it allows a solution that Riot can put in even more features into that said form. And in the case of Lux, once you transform, there's no going back, so there's no reason to have so many resources dedicated to a skin when you don't use 80% of the options anyway. Speaking of Seraphine, I'm personally excited for the champ to be coming to League, but many other players aren't greeting her with such open arms, with complaints across Reddit and Twitter raising the notion that she's far too similar to Sona, with one post even comparing her to a modern VGU for Sona. As we've already covered in a video this week, it's important to take a step back and think about the differences between sharing features and a champ being a clone of another champ. Yes, Sona and Seraphine are both based on music. Yes, they both have AoE shields, and they even have empowered auto attacks based on their casting abilities. But Seraphine brings a completely different feel once you actually pilot her. Her echo mechanic gives her meaningful combos that have entirely different effects compared to Sona's power chord attacks. Seraphine is also extremely skill shot reliant, with all three of her offensive abilities requiring some sort of aim, while Sona's only true skill shot is her ult. Seraphine is more skill expressive, is more about positioning correctly to get max effect out of your skills, and definitely has more of a control mage vibe once you actually give her a go. So before jumping on the bandwagon, at least wait and see how things play out with her release. In other news, Riot opened up pre-registration for in-person tickets for the World's Finals held on October 31st. The event will be the inaugural sporting event to be held at the brand new state-of-the-art Pudong Soccer Stadium. In just the first 4 hours of pre-registration, 1 million people registered, and by the 12-hour mark, that number had almost doubled. The total number of seats available sits at a low 6,312. A fraction of the stadium's total capacity of over 33,000, but due to restrictions put in place of COVID-19, that's how many we get. Nearly 2 million pre-registrations in half a day is absolutely insane, and hopefully next year social distancing won't be needed, and we'll get to see beautiful venues like this filled to the brim with cheering fans. But for now, good luck to those trying to buy tickets to be one of the relatively few that get to witness the spectacular KDA performance and Grand Finals games firsthand. Moving to less limited things, Wild Rift, aka League's mobile version, is having its first open beta on October 27th. Now hold your horses before you get too excited. The open beta is still only available in the countries that had closed beta access. This means anyone in South Korea, Japan, the Philippines, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia, and Thailand can sign up to playtest it now. Some regions can even bind play Wild Rift using their Riot account to unlock extra in-game rewards. Southeast Asian regions don't yet have Riot accounts as a feature, but that will also be coming in the next few weeks. The additional regions of Europe, Taiwan, Oceania, and Vietnam are on track to get beta access in December, with the Americas to follow in spring of 2021. But we've been warned that this is coming in hot, and if things don't go as expected, which they might, there may be some delays. Aside from accessibility, the game itself seems to be coming along nicely, and even has some things that many players, including myself, have long wanted in League of Legends core. And I'm not just talking about their awesome looking skins and splash arts. No, Wild Rift has actually already surpassed League of Legends in some features, namely co-op vs AI and the practice tool. If you've ever played co-op vs AI, you understand how mindless the bots are. While they've definitely come a long way from their initial release, if you walk into a bush, sometimes they still instantly forget about your existence. In Wild Rift, the bots play at a level almost similar or even better than some players. From buying situation items to flanking in teamfights and even split pushing while maintaining the ability to sense danger and run to avoid your ganks, these bots actually give a competitive feel for newer players. The bots can even jungle and are able to chain CC, while bots on the live league servers simply throw out spells on cooldown. And don't think you're safe from other lanes. Bots will even freeze. baiting you to overextend as one of the other enemy lanes roams to your lane to punish you. And if the bots make you think you're missing out, wait till you hear about the practice tool. In the Wild Rift version, there are 3 huge features missing that we don't get to experience on live. Most importantly, all champs are unlocked. Being able to try out a champ before you buy it is a huge feature. Free week is a nice way to sample, but let's be honest, with over 150 champs, it can be months before you see a particular champ, but you also don't want to waste your hard-earned blue essence. Aside from buying champs, it's also useful just to know how other champs work. Another big feature is the ability to swap champions in-game. Say you want to practice that Lucian combo a few times, but suddenly you remember you also want to try out Saber's new Machine Gun Caitlyn version 2.7. Well, on live, that requires the process of exiting the game, waiting on the sluggish client, and starting a whole new game. But with Wild Rift, you can swap between champs in-game. And the last major feature they have that we don't is the ability to summon an enemy AI champ, which you can select and configure to your needs. Sometimes a dummy doesn't give you the exact info you need, and further testing is required on the real deal. I've even heard an unconfirmed report that Wild Rift has or is getting a multiplayer practice tool, which is something I've personally been wanting for a long time on the live servers. Please, Riot, hear our prayers and bring all of those features to live. Moving back to the PC version of the game, we have news regarding both the live and PBE servers, and none of it sounds great. Starting with the PBE, the preseason 11 item system was added back this week, and man, everything is still broken. Duskblade in particular is kinda disgusting. Nothing like Kha'Zix having 6 stealths in a fight, or Pyke being completely untargetable between ult casts. Between that and the 5-second cooldown Karthus ults, we seriously need to rein some power in, or every game in Season 11 is going to be a serious mess. On live, things have also been pretty rough, at least for certain champ mains. Evelyn's charm stopped working on jungle monsters only, and while this doesn't directly influence her ability to one-shot you when fed, it can certainly slow down her getting to that point, making it especially hard to clear the jungle for players who don't know how to properly kite camps. Lover or hater, I'm pretty sure most of you hate her, Yuumi mains, they're people too. And there's a huge bug going on with Yuumi where her Q does not proc mana flow band. While there are a couple of other abilities like Scion ult that also suffer from this bug, Yuumi's Q is her only offensive spell aside from her ult, meaning that she has to literally ult 10 times just to fully stack up the rune. This is a huge hit to her early game where she already suffers badly from mana problems. This last one isn't so much a bug, but rather an intended effect. Kassadin has also received a ninja nerf on this patch, and it's kind of a big deal. How did we end up here? A complaint from Kassadin mains came up when he received his Hex Tech skin. In that skin, his ult would show where Kassadin was rift walking to via a particle effect before he even finished the cast time. Did Riot respond by removing that animation since it was unique to that skin only? Of course not. For consistency's sake, they added a similar effect to all Kassadin skins. And before we go, we've previously covered Lucian being teased as the Victoria skin, but we've been given the full skin splash art, as well as the in-game models and chromas for players of different tiers. Additionally, the season's Clash rewards have been revealed, so if you want to see all of that, head on over to the League website to see it for yourself. And that is all the news that we have for you this week. Be sure to sub to the channel down below so you can stay up to date with our videos and know what's going on in and out with League of Legends. See you back at the next video, but until then, good luck on the Rift, stay safe, and wash your hands.